I matched the walls. So you may have seen the very chaotic thumbnail of this video, and that's because I have thoughts on a lot of stuff, but my thoughts on themselves aren't a lot that I could make individual videos on all these topics, you know what I mean? So this is kind of going to be a reactionary video, like my response to the right-wing rhetoric that I see now spreading on social media. And I'm going to be talking about Billie Eilish and immigration, and I know all of you are very excited for that, but first, the Epstein Files. And another thing that I've seen is that the word nuance has been gaining a lot of popularity in right-wing circles, especially in response to Billie Eilish's Grammy speech about how no one's illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And the right went like, haha, and the guy who appeared outside her mansion saying, hey, Billie, I think you're on stolen land. And then people saying that, oh, this statement lacks nuance. If anything, this statement is full of nuance and historical truths. You know the scary thing about right-wing nowadays? They are very open with their imperialist and, dare I say, fascist mentalities. Like the Jubilee debate with Mehdi Hassan, there was this guy who said that whites are Native Americans, and he was applauded. And this was not just an ignorant statement or a slip of tongue, because after him, a lot of people said that, oh, we are natives, like my ancestors were settlers and colonizers and we have been here for centuries. They were not saying that my ancestors have been here for centuries and so, like we are native to this land. No, they were using the term settlers and colonizers. They know the history, and yet they believe they have a rightful claim over this land.
Yeah,
you
colonials.
You don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
From America?
Yeah.
Well, because my ancestors were settlers here, not immigrants.
Billie was right. You cannot call anyone illegal on a land where your ancestors beat, tortured, burned, and mutilated the people living before them to carve their space. Like, our friend Connor here in the same Jubilee debate says that whites are America's primary demographic that the government should cater to, and they are the native citizens.
I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white, and it should stay that way.
How does the United States...
If you guys all care so much about the rightful citizens, you should all pack up your bags and leave and give this land back to Native Americans. And mind you, this is not something I'm up for. Like, of course, I want Native Americans to have their right to self-determine, to have this right to claim their land, and to have the equal right and opportunities to pursue their American dream. But at the same time, settlers or not, the whites have been living here for centuries. They have a connection with the land, they have a culture here, they have a life here, and so I think asking them to pack up their bags and leave and go wherever in Europe they're from, that's equally radical. But the blatant hypocrisy or even the arrogant embracing of your settler and colonizer status and then to position yourself as this primary demographic is equally insane. And I love how they talk about undocumented immigrants as these parasites mooching off working class's hard-earned money.
Oh, they get STEM benefits.
They get Medicaid benefits.
They're getting college aid, free college aid.
When that is all bullshit. Undocumented immigrants have no claim over STEM benefits. If they have children who were born on American soil and so are citizens, as per the 14th Amendment, only they have right over the STEM benefits. Their parents or their entire family does not. Undocumented immigrants have no right over Medicaid. The only time they can claim emergency services is A, they're low-income earners, and B, that said medical emergency is an injury that could either cause death or permanent disability. Only in that case can they access the free emergency services. And even then, the government reimburses the hospital, does not give those undocumented immigrants any money, no. They reimburse the hospital for the emergency services. Free college financial aid. Undocumented immigrants are not eligible for any federal aid, be it scholarships, loans, grants, anything. The only aid they can access is the state level aid, and for that too they have to meet some criteria. Sometimes they have to have some merit, that is, they have to be smart students. They have to show their proof of residency in the state, or they have to have like certain graduate requirements. Other than that, they're eligible for in-state tuition equity, which basically means that they're paying the same rate as their fellow citizen classmates, and they're not paying any out-of-state expensive rate. This scheme is not ensuring that they get free education. It's ensuring that they aren't getting ripped off. Like the way these people talk about like, oh, it's our right to be angry at immigrants, they're getting free food, free college, and free medical, and we are paying for that just because we didn't sneak into this country. Like the way I talk about like them sneaking into this country, like, oh, as if these guys were just playing hide and seek and just accidentally entered America and are now living a life of luxury. They don't have access to any of these benefits. The only time they do have access is like when it's a dire need. They're barely getting anything even remotely close to a decent life. The only immigrants who can access these benefits are green card holders, people who are refugee and asylum seekers, and people who are victims of and human. And honestly, if this knowledge that some of your hard-earned tax dollars are going to these people to give them something to survive on, to make sure they don't die, if this is knocking the wind out of you while you idolize all these billionaires that keep getting tax break after tax break, that have done so much money laundering and have probably created a million shell companies to evade taxes, it tells me the exact kind of person that you are. You are evil and corrupt, and God save you. And the fact is that undocumented immigrants are still paying taxes. In some states, they're paying more taxes than the top 1%, and they're still doing jobs that natives don't want to do. They're still doing jobs in construction, in food industry, in agriculture industry. And the way the right talks about Trump, like they lighten his mistakes so much. Like they say that, oh yeah, he has said some erroneous stuff on microphone like any other president that came before him, because he is just a human. Tell me what president has ever said that he would be dating a 10-year-old in 10 years, or said shut up piggy to a reporter that asked him about the Epstein Files, or like repeatedly and a 13-year-old, or babies, or cried over a Nobel Prize that was not given to him, or being delusional enough that, oh, he stopped 7 wars. I have a friend from Gaza, and Gaza is supposed to be under a ceasefire now, but it's still being bombed. It's still being bombed using US weapons as recently as a few days ago. She has sent me voice messages that include the engine noise of the reconnaissance planes always flying over Gaza. These are not some little errors. ICE is people. Like, oh, Alex Pretty shouldn't have been carrying a gun. Okay, now why are we picking and choosing on who gets to exercise their Second Amendment? Billie is right. ICE out. Look, you could be of the opinion that the immigration in this country needs to be controlled, there's too much influx of people coming in, while still saying ICE out. ICE at this point is nothing but a group of thugs in Savage who are anyone that doesn't agree with them, or using 5-year-olds as baits to get their illegal alien father, which are claims proven to be false. And I think we can all agree that at the very least for ICE, this matter is not about immigration but race. So I recently made a video on Epstein Files condemning these American politicians, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite and not call out my own country, India. So the Indian Prime Minister and a very prominent Indian businessman, Anil Ambani, have appeared in the Epstein Files a lot. So in 2017, after Trump won the elections, 2 months after that, Anil, the businessman here, exchanged messages and emails with Epstein, wanting to schedule a meetup between Donald Trump and the current Indian Prime Minister. I say current Indian Prime Minister because we have the same Prime Minister for more than 10 years now. He's on his third term. Anyways, to schedule meetup between him and Donald Trump and other top US officials like Jared Kushner and Steve Bannon. Now, it's very important to keep in mind that all these interactions were happening in 2017 and Epstein was convicted for his sex offenses in 2008. So this is not the time where anyone can feign ignorance, oh, that they didn't know. No, his crimes were out in the open. So they were exchanging emails when Epstein says that, oh, the dates that the Indian Prime Minister wants to come to visit Trump are colliding with Israel's strategy date. Make whatever you want of this. And then 2 days later, Anil says that the Indian Prime Minister has agreed to go to Israel this July, so like July of 2017, which happened. So in June 2017, the Indian Prime Minister met with Trump, and then in July 2017, the Indian Prime Minister, the first ever Indian Prime Minister, went to Israel. And in response to all this, Epstein contacted this other unidentified user called JaberY and emailed him saying that, oh, it worked, like in caps lock, it worked. The Indian Prime Minister went to Israel, sang and danced for the benefit of the US, and that very year, New Delhi became the largest buyer of Israeli weapons, worth $715 million. And see, here's the thing. They're all saying that these meetings were strictly political, economic, and business related, which could be true, but that doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better that you were in contact with the known, convicted child or serial child. And mind you, these people, the Indian Prime Minister and this businessman, they're all supposed to be these devout Hindus chanting the slogans of Mother India and shaming Islam for its mistreatment of women, girls, shaming polygamy, when behind closed doors, they're scheduling meetings and making shady deals with convicted and most diabolical. And see, I also get it that, sometimes aligning your actions with your morals is tough, especially when you're desperate. For example, you could be pro-environment but still buy something from a fast fashion brand because you're a college student with no money and you desperately need a new pair of jeans. Because buying ethically manufactured stuff is costly, that's pricey. So I'm not saying about that, but I doubt that our prime minister and the businessman were desperate. At the same time, I also feel like, anybody who has that level of power, money, and influence are all cut from the same cloth. And here's another thing. It's not that now we're just getting to know for the first time that all these disgusting people have been in contact with each other, but more so that now we have the proof. Now we have emails, written transcripts with dates. And all of this also makes you question the lobbying and the outside influences that are forming our country's economic policies. Like, why are we strengthening relationships with Israel in the Middle East? And why did we abandon the Palestinian cause completely? Because believe it or not, until 1992, Indians were not allowed to visit Israel. India had some stand for Palestinians before this. And see, earlier it was all easy to chalk it up to the rising Islamophobia in India, especially the current party in power that's very much on Hindu nationalism. But now these files, they've added this other aspect. Like, was the Islamophobia in India very carefully created and curated to, of course, gain votes during elections, but also to support the Israeli cause? Okay, you know what? Now I think I'm falling into conspiracy theories, okay? Sorry, my bad. But at the same time, can you blame me? Like, we are truly living in dystopian times. I feel like anything could be true at this point. And all of this, makes you question that, did we do that for US? Like, even now, Donald Trump is saying that Indian Prime Minister has agreed to stop buying Russian oil, which I like when I think about the Ukrainian. But then you realize it's not a good thing at all, because now he wants us to buy his stolen oil from Venezuela. And see, according to him, the Indian Prime Minister is on board with this. And if this is true, it's crazy. Because India and Russia's relations go way back. They go decades back. Like they started at the very core of Indian independence. India got independence in 1947, and we have had strong relations with Russia since then. So if what Trump is saying is true, it's crazy. At the same time, I kind of doubt it, because it's not the first time Donald Trump tweets something that the other party later denies. Okay, so the next thought that I have. I've seen a lot of these people who identify to be on the right or who identify to be on the center have not covered the Epstein Files at all in their YouTube videos. Like, take Amala, Misha, or Brett's channel. Like, Amala's channel, like the most recent videos about that chimpanzee tweet of Obama's. Misha is talking about the US versus UK TikTok war. And Brett, she did make a video about the Epstein Files that I did not watch, but I looked at the comments of, and take a look for yourself. I think it's very telling when even your own supporters are saying that, hey Brett, maybe it would have been better if you just did not make a video at all. And I truly believe these are Brett Cooper's supporters, because she has a very loyal fan base. So now the thing is that all these people are very proud Trump supporters, okay? And they have countless times also said that if you're condemning something, you gotta condemn it entirely. Like, you cannot pick and choose when you want to condemn something. So like, if you're against racism, then you should also not be racist to the whites. If you're a feminist, then you should not be a misandrist, and you should call people from your own side too. But I'm not seeing any of them calling out their president that they voted for. And I've seen, on the contrary, I've seen a lot of people on the left calling out the Clintons, like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. They're Democrats, and they have been in the Epstein Files, and the left is asking for these people to be locked up. But I'm not seeing that from the right or the center.